Hey there, this is episode 15 of my Bayonetta series, and this is chapter 14, A Tower to Truth. And this is actually the final normal chapter of this game. The final two chapters after this are both boss fights. And this is a pretty long chapter, at around 18 minutes of fights. And this is probably one of my favorite chapters, for sure. You get to fight every enemy in the game at least once, I think. And the structure of this chapter is kind of like a gauntlet of enemies. Each floor of this tower gets progressively harder and harder as you climb up the tower. So we're at the bottom of the tower now, and this is the second stage. And this one isn't so difficult, but it gets pretty difficult later on. And in Bayonetta, a lot of enemies in the later chapters are on fire, which means you can't touch them. You have to use ranged attacks until they are stunned, then they will not be on fire anymore, so you can fight them normally. So you have to be extra careful around enemies on fire. So that was verse 2. And here we are fighting Braves, I believe they are called, which are not the most difficult enemy, but it can be a bit tricky since there are often a lot of them. Right now there are 2 at once, but you have to deal with them quickly before they merge together. If you don't attack them constantly, they will merge together and form one big brave, which is a lot harder. So you don't want that to happen. And we are, as I said, progressing upwards in the tower. And this is the first really difficult battle against a Gracious and a Glorious, which is overall just a really difficult enemy. They attack really quickly, and you don't really have any time to think. You just have to keep attacking them and parry them perfectly, or dodge perfectly to survive. And I'm using a torture attack to get rid of one of them, which didn't kill him completely. And I picked up his angel arm, which is this fiery weapon which you can spin around like this to get rid of a lot of tougher enemies at once. I used it on these joys here. I heard the cue where the joys duplicate themselves, and before she could do it, I used a torture attack to quickly kill her. While also getting some extra combo points, because you get a lot of combo points when you use a torture attack. So it's especially useful when they have little health left. Here are a bunch of enchants, which are really easy. And then some more Gracious and Glorious. And it's a bit more difficult because you are now in a very tight space. You don't really have room to go around and dodge them as easily. Anyway, that was verse 6. Anyway, here I used those angel arms I was talking about earlier to destroy a bunch of angels at once, because it's so powerful. And then I used the torture attack on him to get his angel arm. And here we have to fight the Temperance by shooting cannons at him. So you just aim at his face, and every time he attacks you just get out of the tank and dodge them. But if you spam fast enough, he won't get a chance to attack. So that's my strategy here, which is going pretty well. And here he is attacking, so you have to get away before he kills you. Now I'm using the second cannon, while also dodging his missiles in the last second. And here is the first Alfheim, which is simply just kill all enemies. And these are my favorite because they give you full range to do whatever you want. Use whatever weapons you want and kill them however you want. And as I said before, since these enemies are on fire, you have to be a bit more careful. You can't get too close to them, because if you do, you will get hurt by the fire. So I am keeping my distance and using the laser guns. Now one of them is gone. Another one. Those laser guns, they're really good for dealing high damage at a long range. I also use the Tetsusanko move to throw out multiple wicked weaves whenever I have enough magic. You can use angel arms without being worried about fire, so whenever I can I also pick up their angel arms. I have also held the combo for the entire fight, which is pretty good. Because other than not taking damage, you also have to worry about doing it quickly and doing it with enough combo points so that you will get the pure platinum rank on the fight. So my way of keeping the combo is to constantly shoot them with the laser guns like that, and to try to use the Tetsusanko move whenever the combo is close to dropping. And here are 3 joys, which is pretty difficult, especially at the end of the fight. But I often use torture attacks against joys because of how frantic their attacks are. I just want to get rid of them quickly, usually. Even just fighting 2 joys is way easier than 3, so... But now there's just one left. And now I was pretty nervous to see if I got the combo requirement, but I obviously did, since it's in the video. If you do fail the combo, you have to restart the fight. We have to dodge these whatevers and then fight Justice on the side of this elevator. But this is a smaller version of Justice, which is way easier than the actual boss fights. Now I can run up her face thing. The camera is very strange for some reason while you're running up her face. And here I defeated her. Here are 2 more joys, and we are nearing the end of the chapter. So there are just some more joys and a golem at the end of the chapter. As I said, there are a lot of joys here at the final part of the chapter. I think there is one more after this. But fighting one joy is way easier than fighting 3 of them, so I handled that pretty easily. And here is the other joy I was talking about. And yes, this was the golem. Certainly one of the more difficult enemies in the game because of how frantic their attacks are. They have a lot of health. Also, you have to break the outer metal shell before you can attack the center. The golem has a lot of different shapes and attacks, so you have to always be aware of all the possible ways he can attack. So I try to just bash at him as much as I can to quickly wear him down like this, so I can beat his life thing. I am dodging a lot because he is very fast and I never know when he's about to attack. So pretty much between every attack I do, I dodge, just to be sure. And that should be it. And right after this there is also a quick fight against Prudence on the side of the elevator. And then that will be the end. And here is Prudence. And this is a pretty easy fight, even if he's big. He doesn't attack very fast, and you can just wail on him and dodge whenever he does one of his slow attacks. And there I took nearly half of his health bar in one hit, which shows how weak he is. And he is dead within seconds. And then you have to run from the fire which is burning up the building to reach the top of the tower. And I believe that was the final fight. And to end the chapter, you just walk into the center of the top, where you will meet with Father Boulder, the second final boss. So that will be the next video, fighting against Boulder, and then after that the absolute final video, the final chapter, which will be the epilogue, fight against Jubileus, the creator. Father Boulder is a pretty short fight, a pretty fun fight, but not too difficult, and Jubileus is a bit more difficult. But yeah, that was a Tower to Truth. With 30 damage apparently, but it didn't damage my rank, so it doesn't matter. And I got the Pure Platinum award, of course. So now there are just 2 chapters left, as I said, both of which are pretty fun. So I will see you then, when I get time to play those chapters. Bye.